Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to Vinny the Axe. Today I want to talk about this Dean Select V that I just picked up. So I was in the market for another Flying V guitar, and I know recently I had a Gibson Flying V that was a mod collection, and the thing was awesome, but somebody made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and of course, like we do, I sold it. And I regretted selling it, but at the same token, I definitely got some good money for it, so I went through this little phase again where I was like, oh man, I want like an 80s rock V kind of type of guitar. But I was looking for one with the tremolo this time. Most of my guitars are all hardtail. I have one custom shop Strat that has a vintage tremolo, but I was looking for something with like a Floyd Rose. So I was looking at some Jacksons. I was looking at some, went back to looking at Gibsons, but I couldn't find one with the Floyd, and then I didn't want to spend that kind of money, and this time going around, I was like, let me buy an inexpensive or somewhat inexpensive guitar. I looked at the Solar guitars, but here was the other thing. I wanted a V with the rounded, old man corners on it, not the spiky ones or the sharp pointed ones. So that kind of left not many things out there really. And then I happened to see the Select V, and I saw it in a hardtail. But doing some research, I found ones with this Kahler on it. So I've never, out of the hundreds of guitars I've owned over the last 30 years or so, I've never owned a Kahler. I've had Floyds, I've had Ibanez Edge type tremolos, Wilkinson tremolos, Goto tremolo, you name it. I've had pretty much almost everything with the exception of a Kahler. Now, I just, really never bothered to even want a Kahler, and the Kahler really didn't take off, and the Floyd Rose kind of did back in the 80s. That became like the predominant thing. So I don't know anything about these tremolos, or I should say I didn't know anything about these tremolos, and I started doing a little research on them, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to take a chance. So I found this guy through a music store down in Florida, but this got shipped from a warehouse somewhere in North Carolina. So if you know how that all works, hit me up in the comments below. But this guitar sat brand new in the box after it left the factory since 2021. Nobody's ever played it, I don't think. Didn't have a fingerprint on it. Everything was wrapped like brand new in the box. I was a little concerned. Fretboard was a little dry. I took care of that. The frets were a little oxidized. I took care of that. The strings were definitely, since 2021, so those needed to definitely go. So what I did was I did some research on how to set up a Kahler, and then I changed the strings, I polished the frets, did the fretboard, set up the action, the whole works. So really impressed with the Kahler tremolo. I'm surprised it really didn't take off as well as it probably should have. And I'm going to probably do another video just on the Kahler alone and on the settings that can be done with it, or how it's all set up. But I want to say it just didn't take off, and I want to say, this is me just guessing now, a lot of it has to do with marketing and endorsements and all that stuff. But at the same token, I think aesthetically, it doesn't look as nice as a Floyd. I think that's part of it. I think that's part of why there wasn't such an allure to it, is that just the way it looks. The other thing is that some people say it's not double locking because you're not cutting the ball end off. So if you don't know anything about these, there's some videos out there, some really old ones out there. I'm going to probably do a new one with how it all works, but I'll just give you some highlights. Yes, you don't cut the ball off the end, which I like. The ball gets locked into a claw in the back, or a hook, I think they call it, and it doesn't shift, it doesn't move. The other thing is this thing moves smooth, so if you kind of like, if you've ever used a Wilkinson tremolo and know how smooth those things rock back and forth, that's kind of like how this operates. You could do trem chatters on it and all kinds of stuff. You could dive bomb it. It's really cool. The other thing I do like about it is the resonance of the guitar. Because there's not a lot of cavity cut out in the back of the guitar, which I'll show you here, because it doesn't need it. It's bolted with 4 bolts right to the top. You could feel the whole guitar resonate when you play it, which I really, really dig. So, and I'll go into depth at some point about it, but it has a lot of nice features, a lot of nice settings. The springs are adjusted from the top. You can adjust the clutch so that this thing doesn't flop around from the top. And you could also make it a fixed bridge. But this guitar is 24 3/4, like a Gibson length. It is a 12-inch fretboard radius. It has jumbo frets on it, nickel ones. Comes nice with a set of Seymour Duncans. So this is a Seymour Duncan Custom in the bridge and an Alnico Pro in the neck. So I have to say it's pretty cool. I like that the jack is here on the wing or the fin or whatever you want to call it. This way it's not inside, so when you're sitting down you could put it between your legs and the jack doesn't get in the way. The only thing that's kind of kooky, and some people might like this, some people not so much, is that this knob here controls the volume of the neck. This knob here controls the volume of the bridge, and then this is an overall master tone three-way switch. So, I mean, I could always rewire this if I wanted to make this the bridge volume, which I probably would, I think. But other than that, it's not a big deal. I might not even mess with it. The back is satinized, which is really, really nice. And the front is a satinized metallic red, which I think is a really, really nice color, nice shade of red. The guitar plays really, really good. The reason why I haven't ever owned a Dean in the past is I just could not get along with this. I just, for whatever reason, I'm not attracted to this, but I think because it's painted the same color as the headstock, it kind of jives. So that's cool. And then here's the new Kahler locking nut, which works kind of like a Floyd locking nut, and it works really, really well. So no issues at all. I mean, the guitar's action's nice. You know, it didn't come like that completely out of the box. I had to do some adjustments, but super simple to operate once I learned how to work the Kahler system. And I'll tell you what, for an import, this is their high-end import under their USA line. This is one hell of a guitar for the money, I have to say. And, you know, I've owned some Vs that were like $3,000, $4,000. This, I hate to say it really, plays just as good. If not even, I don't know, I want to say better. It plays just as good. Sounds great, plays great. So I'm quite pleased with it. I like the neck profile is kind of cool. It has kind of like a soft kind of V to it, I think. And, you know, I'll get used to it. I mean, you know, playing something for a couple hours, I get used to it. But anyway, I wanted to show this because I was really excited about this guitar. I got some other guitars that came in. I'm going to do some videos about that too. And I hope you enjoyed the little sound demo in the beginning. And if you have any questions about the V, right now I'm on a quest for a case for this without spending a ton of money. So if you guys have any recommendations on a case that will fit this particular V, please let me know. Throw it in the comments down below. Once again, thanks for watching Vinny the Axe. Please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you soon. Anyway, take it easy.